we have created a Telegram group, a Telegram community where you can easily just click on the link in my description. It will take you straight to that Telegram group. And on that Telegram group, we'll be having guests come up to answer questions based on the interviews that we'll be dishing out soon. You don't want to miss it, because on the Telegram group it's going to be very personal, while on YouTube there's a limit to how personal you can go. And that is the reason why we have created that group, so you can get all the nitty-gritty informations that might have been omitted during the interview session. Okay, your questions will be answered on that group. Join our community, guys, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Hey guys, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? What are you waiting for? On this channel, there's going to be a lot that you would be learning, a lot to, feed your mind, your soul, your spirit, your body, as well as your intellect. So you don't want to miss any video, any content that would be coming out from this channel. So please, if you don't mind, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe button, click on the like, click on the notification bell, and also drop a comment. Try to watch 1 or 2 videos, check the channel out and see what might interest you. And I think you would not be disappointed. Hello guys, my name is Glory Mbayo, a YouTuber based in Berlin, Germany. For those joining us for the first time, welcome guys to my channel. On today's video, I will be introducing to you guys a new segment on this platform, and it is called Success and Sacrifice, where we learn from top professionals about how they navigate career success while maintaining a fulfilling, personal and family life. This segment is going to be knowledge packed, so you don't want to miss it. I have the privilege and the honors of having with me today a senior business analyst and intelligence professional, an expert in data analytics and visualization, product development, strategy, and performance management. He has a strong academic background in finance and banking. He is dedicated to continuous innovation and making lasting impact. He is passionate about socio-economic development and empowering others, through career and personal development. Guys, welcome with me today, no other person than Mr. Sonter Samuel James. You're welcome today. Thank you for coming.
All right, Glory. Thank you very much for having me on this call. Hello, Glory and Bio community. Hello from Nigeria. Yeah, so I'm very excited to be on this call today. My name is Sonter Samuel James, as you rightly said. I hail from Benue State, Nigeria, and I'm an apostle of God in the marketplace. Yes, I guess you know what that means, right? But professionally speaking, I am a seasoned strategy and analytics expert with experience across diverse industries, although majorly within the financial services industries. Now, I've worked largely with First Bank, who is the leading commercial bank here in Nigeria. But I just transitioned literally last month. Glory, I'm sure you're not even aware of this. I just transitioned like last month to join Scib Insurance Brokers. They are the leading insurance broking company here in Nigeria, and I joined them as the head of strategy, analytics, and innovation. I am married, by the grace of God. Shout out to my wife, Susu, and I'm blessed with 2 beautiful girls, Senate and Sechiviti. Yeah, shout out to them. So my core values as a person really are just 2 that summarize on that 2 pillars, and that's faith and works. Those are my core values. Yeah. So let's stop here as the conversation goes on. You get to know me better.
We can find that in Hebrews. Wow. Thank you for that introduction. That's huge. Okay. Let me say, looking back at your childhood, what was the specific moment or experience that shaped you into this drive, or having this drive, to become someone of excellence and having this passion for social economic development, trying to like better other industries, other businesses, and also personal development? What was that drive, or what was that turning point for you that pushed you in that direction?
All right, thank you, Glory, for that question. Now, you remember this saying, they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Yeah, so I mean, that's just to give you like an intro. But basically, for me, growing up really in a polygamous family of 13, yeah, 13. And I'm second to the last, so I'm like number 12. Yeah,
Okay.
so you can imagine how all my siblings, my other siblings are all grown up and all. So growing up in that kind of setting, I really witnessed firsthand the sting of limited access to tertiary education. I mean, my parents are peasant farmers, and they did their best for my 11 elder siblings, but none of them, at that point, could go beyond secondary school. That's high school, right? Yeah, high school. That was due to, number one, the financial constraint was there. And number two, there was lack of strong will. That's both on the part of my parents and those of my siblings. And then lastly, there wasn't a proper understanding of the value of education as a tool that can end poverty and struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from Benue State. Now, typically, Benue people are known for farming, right? So let me just give you a background, a brief. So Benue, people from Benue mostly, like those who are based in the village, like they get to marry more than one wife, and the goal is this, to have a lot of children who will help them in farming. So my parents are those typical kind of people, and that was the kind of setting I grew up, with. But growing up, really seeing my 11 elder siblings not going beyond secondary school, I wasn't happy with that. Really, deep down, I was very young. I wasn't happy with that. But there was nothing I could do, really, because that was the situation I was born into. That was where I found myself. But there was a turning point. There was a turning point, something that turned the narrative for me. And that was somewhere when I was in I think SS1 going to SS2, right? So there was this uncle of mine. He's currently a general in the Nigerian army, but then he was a major. So, I mean, he comes around. So anytime he comes around, he interacts with me. And, I mean, he noticed that this guy is very smart. So he told my dad, that this your son is very smart. This environment, I mean, because the environment where we are was very rugged environment, a lot of hooligans and a lot of, not the kind of environment that are not good, to bring up kids. So my dad, my uncle was like, this your son is very smart. This environment is not so cool for him. So there was something, he had a boss. He was he was serving in Benin, an army station in Benin. So he told my parents that, look, he had a boss who was a colonel then, that she needed someone who can come around, help around, and then she like pay the person through school and all of that. My parents were skeptical. It's not you, it's someone else from the West, someone they don't know. My mom specifically was very reluctant, but well, as destiny will have it, my parents yielded and they allowed me to go. So I moved to Benin after SS1. When I go to Benin, to the house, I was enrolled into an army secondary school and all of that. So while I was there, so you can say I was a houseboy, literally, right? So I was helping around, doing things, going to school. While I was there in school, I was excelling. I think shortly after I was made a senior prefect in the school. I won quite a number of awards, national, state and national. And that began to move. But something happened along the line. She was supposed to be promoted, but she wasn't promoted. So she had to, she was retired and all of that. So she had to leave. I also had to leave. But something happened while I was there. She had a friend, coincidentally, that was staying with her at that point in time. That friend, she's a pastor in Reading, Pastor Sarah Wabo. So it was like a divine arrangement. So, I mean, the colonel, she goes to work, she was always, up about, but this pastor was always around. So this pastor picked interest in me, and that was when she began to mentor me and sowed some seed, of growth. Spiritually, I gave my life to Christ. I began to know how to, study conscientiously, how to pay more attention to my books and all of that. So I finished secondary school, and then she retired. So I had to leave. So I came back, I came back, to Abuja. So when I came back home, really, I needed to, the seed was sown in my life already. So I just needed to continue driving on that note. The situation in my family hadn't changed, but I had a mindset shift. So when I came back, I knew that financial constraints were a problem. So I started doing security job. I did a security job for about 3 years while I was writing JAM. Admission was not forthcoming. I eventually got into school. So all of these things, formed in me, built in me some level of resilience. So when I got into the university, I knew that, look, I knew where I was coming from. I said, look, the only way out of this situation for myself and my family is to sit down and read. So, I finished with the first class in banking and finance, the glory of God. And the rest is history. Today, I'm in limelight. I'm someone who my family looks up to. And that's what actually formed the passion for excellence and the passion for socio-economic development, especially in the aspect of education, because anything that affects education, if people are liberated education-wise, there's no limit to what they can achieve. Yeah, so this is just a summary of my life, really.
Wow. That's a very, impactful story. I hope you're going to write a book, or have you written a book already?
No, I'm hoping to do so someday. Yeah, as time, time around, I will do that. Yeah, but it's a great story. I just have to even cut off a lot of things, but for want of time.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. So I would also, basing back to your childhood, what was if you could give an advice, or if you could advise your younger self, what would that advice be? Let's say at the time where you were still trying to figure out life, you became conscious about your family situation. And what could that advice be for your younger self, or someone who is also trying to, in that same situation as you were?
Yeah, so this is just what I would say. Discover God early, know God early, and discover your purpose early in life. Give yourself to continuous learning and development and qualitative relationship building, which is what we call networking. Yeah. Now, you don't have to be afraid of taking steps of faith and moves, especially those that will take you out of your comfort zone. Right. So I've had to move. I've had cause to move a lot in my career out of comfort zone. Like I just moved from First Bank. People were like, guy, wow, like at that level you are. So my colleagues in the bank were like, bro, you're like someone we look up to. Like you're there, you wine and dine with the woman, the high and mighty in the bank. For you to leave that, what is now our own hope? That means we are not serious with our life. I'm like, no, guys, take it easy. Yeah. So we have different paths to destiny, right? But you need to be able to know at the point where you need to leave your comfort zone and step into a new journey, right? Because most of the times it's often those uncomfortable decisions, that lead to the most significant growth. So my advice to my younger self, God helped me really. I got these things right. That's why where I am today. So if I were to go back in time, I would still do the things I did, just that I might do them in a better way and maybe get better results. But know God early and discover your purpose in life. Then chase it with all diligence, commitment. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So now my question would be, what inspired you to go in the line of business analytics or analysis and intelligence, especially that, because now you told us you studied banking and finance and everything with that. So how did you find yourself in that direction?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. And just like you rightly said, my background is accounting, it's finance and accounting, banking, and all of that. And I made a first class in that, yeah. But I can actually count the number of times I've functioned in core finance roles. Now, my interest in business analysis and intelligence, began when I started noticing, based off my general findings and environmental awareness, the growing importance of data in strategic business decisions. At the point I took, cognizance of this, the field of data analytics was not as it is right now. Some time ago, Andrew knows part of this story. At the point I had to sell off. In fact, what connected, Andrew, one of my friends, good friends, back here in Nigeria, is I had to trade off my phone for a laptop because I wanted to attend a data analytics training that was being organized for free, but needed you to. The only requirement was for you to have a laptop. I didn't have a laptop at that point, so I had to trade it. I had to trade off my phone to get the laptop, right? So when I got that intel back then, because I did a lot of research, a lot of, I'm basically just aware of my environment. I'm always online, surfing the internet, listening to news, okay, what's trending, what's the new direction of things. So that helps me to stay updated, with happenings around me. So that was what informed my, my direction in the area of business intelligence. And so what I began to do, was to now develop myself in that regard and to now opt for roles within my organization. I mean, take off of First Bank. The First Bank is one institution that allows you the opportunity to grow. So you can just sit and say, look, I want to move to this particular unit. I mean, based off your interest and opportunity will given to you, of course you'll be interviewed. So I did all of those interviews, and because I had been preparing for such opportunities, I was able to easily transition because I didn't start off in analytics in the bank. I started off, engineering operations, product, and all of that. So I now moved to analytics, and then today the rest is history. Whatever I am today, but it started by picking up intel about what is happening, where the world was going, and the growing importance of data in strategic business decision making. Yeah.
So staying updated, knowing what's happening around you is very important.
Very key. Very key.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very good. What would you say is that one challenge that you have experienced in your career path that you felt like this was a setback, but at the end of the day, it's a stepping stone into a huge success that you experienced?
you want to bring back a very strong memory, but it's fine. Yes. So a little background. So I started off my career at the American University of Nigeria, where that's Yola, where I worked as a research and I'd been associate on a non-permanent basis. Now, while at that, I had a good relationship with all the faculty members. Because I had provided great support to all of them on various research and academic endeavors. And at the end of my contract, really, they all put recommendations for me to be given a substantive employment offer as a graduate assistant. So the plan then was, okay, I'll come in as a graduate assistant. I'll enroll for my MSc there. As they are paying me, I'm doing MSc, and then from there, I'll start up the academia journey and all of that. But for no reason, professors, they sat down on the road for no reason, and for a reason tomorrow, I'm aware now, that wasn't the path God wanted me to take. It didn't work. It did not work out. The entire faculty of the School of Business and Entrepreneurship wrote to endorse me, but it didn't work really. So that continued. So I knew that, look, this is not where I wanted to be. So I had to leave. Right. So I resigned, came down to Abuja. I joined an NGO as a data clerk. Shortly afterwards, an opportunity came up somewhere. I joined an agro-allied company as the head of finance, and I worked there briefly. And then before you know it, First Bank came and I left. And today the rest is history. And I'm very proud about this trajectory I took, because if I'd taken that route, I'm very sure I won't be where I am today, because this route I took is more rewarding, both financially and otherwise. Otherwise, the exposure it has given me, the collaborations I've done all over the world, across, different industries, different countries. So I'm very glad that offer didn't come true. But that was like, at that point, it felt like my world came crashing, because everything was looking like, oh, this was just the opportunity for you to, make the break. But it didn't work. But thank God, we're here today. Yeah.
How frustrating and
demotivating it was really.
That was just like your vision, your plan, to see that, oh, okay, I would go from this level to the next level. Okay, but have you ever been scammed? This is a question outside of our questions, but for
this question.
Have you fallen into the wrong hands, so to say?
Yes, capital yes. I've been scammed. And it was a very pathetic scam. So, so there was a time. There was a time. I can't even remember what year now, but it was after secondary school. You know, when I came back from Benin to my parents, and I was coming from church. I mean, I used to attend Redeem, and I've been Redeem. You know, I used to attend Redeem Central Paris back then. Usitsu. I was staying in Nyanya, like Marabas. I used to go there. So I would finish the program and I was going home, and this guy just came. This thing, hunting, you know, all those. I was like, which language is this guy speaking? Goose. There are plenty goose, dollar. I was like, before you know, one guy now came to me like, what is that guy telling you? I don't really understand what the guy is saying. He said, let's listen to him and let's hear what he has to say. You know, in my innocent mind, it's good to help people. God, you know, that was how it went. Before you know, they took us to one place and they now said the guy ran away with goose, brought goose from Nigeria, from is it Gambia or one French country, and my sister. That was how they now said there's $1. They will share the money. They need to buy chemical and wash. Before you know, everything was so spontaneous. It was happening too fast. They now say, there's a risk. We need to take an oath. We need to we need to trust. We don't know how. We can't trust ourselves. Look, the greed in me. I say, man, if I get this money now, I've liberated my family. Poverty has ended in my family. My sister. That was how I took one.
Wow.
I took one funny oath.
Wow.
Took one very funny oath, and the conclusion is that I ended up the money my mother was using for business. I went and carried it about like 200K. I'm talking about 2009, 2010. 200K, and went and gave these people that let us buy chemical and wash money. My sister, the money I did not see, the chemical I did not see. I later found out they were scam. And
wow.
That was how my mom was very angry, but my dad was like, look, that's no problem. That you learn from mistakes. That he's very sure that this thing would have maybe happened later on in my life, but he's glad that I experienced it now. So my dad opted to pay my mom the money so that my mom should not feel bad. So that's the only scam experience I've ever had in my life.
Oh wow. That's a lot. It's like everything happening at the same time. They didn't even give you the time to think, to boot.
Everything was just
spontaneous,
like very fast. Before you know it, I was already in their dungeon.
Yeah, we have to really be careful with these people these days.
A lot.
I listened to one of your testimonies where you talked about you getting a job in the UK and how you rejected the job. So what really happened? What brought you to that point of rejecting a job? I guess that would really elevate you, and it's also something was what you were expecting, or yeah.
Yeah. So this is how it is. What I would say is, they say it's not all that glitters that are gold. That's on one part. That's on one part. On another part, when you're praying to God about a particular thing, right? You need to be very sensitive to happenings around you. Because when you're praying to God about a particular thing and your heart is tuned in that direction, why that thing might get into work in progress, right? The enemy, I mean, by virtue of maybe you sharing or something, I don't know, but I don't know how it happens, but it happens. Then you might want to try to bring something that's a look-alike. So it happens most of the times when we're taking career decisions. It happens a lot when you want to take like marital decisions. I believe that's a conversation for another day. But so this is how it happens. These guys reached out to me on LinkedIn because I have a very solid presence on LinkedIn, and so I get a lot of attention from recruiters a lot. So they reached out to me. My profile that they were coming. So it was an impact investment company. They were coming to the Nigerian market, and that they needed people who have expertise of the local markets, of the financial services industry, that they can bring on board. So it was looking very good. The thing was very fast. It was very fast. On a Sunday, they reached out to me. On a Monday, I was scheduled for an interview. on a Wednesday, another interview. Like the next week, a draft offer.
Hmm.
What's going on? It was looking all good. There were a lot of promises. So they were like, okay, they were coming so that the fund, according to them, the fund was domiciled in London. So I was going to start off here in Nigeria for like 6 months. To just put things in place, but that I was going to be moved to the London office at the end of 6 months. That's upon my confirmation. Everything was looking very glittery and all of that. I accepted the offer. So, well, I spoke to my executives at the office, and I had very loving bosses like back then in First Bank, and my group head was like, who are these guys that I should send in the company name? What are these guys? So I sent in the name, like, who are the sponsors? He looked at the CEO that they don't know this guy because he's an expert investment banker. He has worked in Citi, he has worked in Stanbic. So my group executive took me, to like a room where like all the group heads, and because of the work I do and all that, they were like, look at this star boy, the guy wants to leave and he wants to join one investment banking that nobody knows about. So everybody was like, which place is that? So when I called the name, everybody, all the execs that were there, that some of them had even international experience, were like, we don't know this company. That what was the catch? And I mentioned all the catch they gave, the equity, $30,000 equity. There were a lot of the offer was huge. It was huge. Then they were like, okay, I should look very well. I should look very well. So I later found out it was in the time minute that my group had asked me to forward in their details and all. So when I forwarded in the details, he now sent it to his brother that works in SEC. That look, he wants to do due diligence about these guys, that one of these very good boys want to leave, want to join them, and they made a lot of promises, but he's not very sure about them. So that he now gave him a feedback that look, these guys, they are just in the process of getting licensing. So because everything was too fast, I didn't even check. I looked them up in the UK. I was able to see them that they're registered in the UK, but in Nigeria they are not registered. The UK offer, they said it was going to be after 6 months before they would move me. The contract was not so clear and everything was too fast. Look, a lot of things happened, but I just had to. In fact, I didn't even tender my resignation to First Bank. I was like, wait, whatever it is, let me go. And if I go there after 6 months, if I don't like it, I will leave. I can use that one and get another level and move. But when I now looked inwards, I now saw that I didn't have peace. I was very tense when the offer came and I attempted to resign. I spoke to my wife. My wife was like, guy, you've never felt this tense taking any decision. Look again. I sat down, I thought through it. I called the HR and I was like, look, the HR, they were all abroad. Funnily, they were all the HRs in Dubai, the sponsors, the CEOs in Australia, and the fund managers in London. So they were scattered all over. So everything was just virtual and all of that. I went to their physical location in VI, Lagos here. And I wasn't cool with what I saw. I just went, before the day I was supposed to resume, to just go and look around. The things didn't sit well with me. I just sat down. I just told them, look, I'm sorry. I'm not very comfortable about this offer. I have to, pull out from it. And that was how I pulled out from it. Told my execs that, look, I've listened to their counsel. I think this move is a move that I need to, to just step aside and look again, So that was how it's okay, fine. I should withdraw my resignation notice, which I had submitted, at the point. And I did that. Yeah, so that was what happened.
So it seems to say that anytime there are maybe juicy offers coming down your plate, just notice you have to look deeper
look deeper and speak. That's why I always emphasize the importance of having a qualitative network. I later found out that career move could have been a very disastrous one because later on, after all of these things went by, I later got connected to someone who currently works there on LinkedIn. And I now told him that, hey, this was what I was planning. That thank God I didn't come with that. These guys, that they are devourers, that they are very toxic. That if I want guy that came, some people that came, they didn't all the things they promised, they didn't fulfill any of them, all of those contractual terms. I was like, wow. So this was what God delivered me from. If I had made that move, it would have been a very, disastrous one for my career. I'm glad God saved me. I didn't make the move. And today I'm here now.
So, what key principles, or should I say, habits, have you, maintained over the years um, to help coordinate your, your career, the demands from your career and professional life to your personal life and your family life? What are those principles and habits you have, you know, inculcated into your daily life? Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, yeah, achieving so all of these things is all about achieving balance, knowing how to multitask, knowing how to balance various responsibilities.
Mhm.
Some people will walk up to me like, "Guy, how do you even do your life? Your family life is okay, your career, your spiritual life, like how do you carry everything along like this?" And the summary is just in three things, right? I think I'll say prioritization, discipline or consistency, as you may call it, and then self-awareness. And
Mm.
I think at this point, I think my growing up has a role to play in this because growing up back then, actually, we're into farming now. As you're coming back from school, as you're dropping your school uniform, you're going to the farm. There
Mm.
were morning sessions, there were evening sessions. You know, it is well. So a lot of things have changed really in parenting, and some of those things that you look back now, you feel, oh, they were sufferings, but they were
Mm.
not sufferings. Actually, those things actually instilled in us some certain qualities that this
Mm.
generation today are struggling to have. Right?
Mm.
Sometimes we go to farm from school, you're just going to the farm straight up, and
Mm.
all of that. So all of those things really helped me to, so I have to do your assignment, you have to do chores, you have to, everything. You just have to figure it out, right?
Mm.
And then when I eventually got into the university and I began, pursuing academic excellence, I was also actively involved in school fellowship. I became the general secretary of NIFES. I'm a NIFES alumnus. I became the general secretary, and the work was very demanding because that was like one of the biggest campus fellowship. We had members of over 500, and I was general secretary, more like the administrator, coordinating things, all the various functional units and all of that. And it was very overwhelming. But at the point I had to call my pastor, like, that this is the role. It's like I'm struggling academically. Or like, look, that was a time for me to master how to balance my life.
Mm.
That if I was that he told me this, and I could have said, Sam, you see, if you're able to balance this successfully, maintain your academic standing, excellent standing, and deliver excellently in the fellowship. Say, after this, by the time you're out of this, that you don't know the impact of this until you're out of this environment, that you're able to function at whatever level. And I head onto that word, Pastor Shegun Oladejo. I head onto that word and I said, look, so I had to prioritize, assign time. As I'm finishing, so there's no idle time. As I'm finishing
Mm.
from lectures, we had the faculty library. Maybe I need to go home. Usually when you close, you go home now. I will do like 2 hours reading. So I prioritize and then I divide my tasks in bits. So I'll do like
Mm.
2 hours in the library. So when people are going home, I've gone straight to the library. I've done like 2 hours. I'll look through my notes quickly. As I'm getting maybe from there, I'm going to the fellowship. From fellowship, I'm coming back home. I wake up in the night to pray, to read. So all of this routine, I was able to, learn and master it while in the university. So today I
Mm.
just do these things, with ease.
Part of you now.
So exactly. So there's always a point in your life where you have to build certain qualities,
Mhm.
certain habits.
Momentum.
If you fail to build those habits at such point, you find it difficult later because a lot of things are happening now. A lot, really. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. I'm just thinking now. So does that mean you've not had a season or a period apart from when you were still building those habits? You've not had no season, especially you're married, you have two kids, where you're like, okay, I think I need to put this on a pause to focus maybe on family and stuff like that. You've been able to master everything on the same level, like carrying all those different
Yeah.
assignments.
Yeah. So at this point, I would say grace. There's a dimension of grace. Really,
Mm.
there's a gift. So back then, there was a scripture. I used to pray back then. The sons of Issachar who understand time
Mm.
and what to do per time. I used to pray that
Mhm.
prayer back then. So I see that playing out. So it's
Mm.
about just doing a bit here, doing a bit here, doing a bit here. So just maintaining that balance. So making a first class, really, let's even talk about that. Making a first class means you're good on all subjects.
Mm-hmm.
You have A's. Like I don't think I ever had a C. Maybe one C all through the university. So you're having A's first class. I think they're like 4.7, so you'll be very strong first class. So it means you have A's. So first class alone, having a first class alone in a public university in Nigeria, well, of course, private university, yeah, you get, but in a public university in Nigeria, having a first class, it will instill in you certain things because you can't know all courses now. You can't know all the courses. So if I identify that this course is a challenge, what do? I prioritize it. I give more time to it. So that's how I do. So if I say, okay, this area of my life is suffering, I'll reduce effort in one, transfer more into this other. So doing that managing, changing those gears, it's a very, if I know my wife sometimes like, guy, your grace level is on that. Please just be doing your things. Just be doing, don't come and pressure me. Be doing your things and let me be doing my own small progress. I say, no, it's fine. Be doing your own. Yeah, I'll be doing my own. We put them together, and that will all makes us a perfect union.
Wow, awesome. So now you also mentioned on your short bio on LinkedIn that you dedicate your weekends for mentoring. What made you to go into that part? Of course, you've also mentioned that mentoring and mentorship is also very important. You need a work of people to grow and to build certain portfolio, whether career-wise and spiritual and financial and otherwise. So what made you to go into that part, and how has it been rewarding? Do you have like a very outstanding story to tell in regards to that, a success story?
Yeah, so mentoring people is giving back. So I got an understanding from scriptures of what Jesus Christ said in Matthew 10:8, when he was charging the disciples to go out and pray. He said, freely you receive, freely you give. Now there's something about my life. So I grew up in a family where all of this one, you say family connection and all of those things. I grew up with zero of those things. There wasn't anybody, any connection, any big uncle, any big person you call. But I noticed that I had people at strategic times in my life for me play roles that define who I am today, that helped me to become who I am today. So I got that understanding at the point. I'm like, look, this is the way, this is the way to go. If people have helped you, you also need to help others. Okay. So that was on one part. And then there's also the thing of gifting of helping. You see some people have the gift of help. So I think I have that gift to help people, to help people, so because I do it effortlessly, the thing I just do, And then lastly, and this one is very, it might interest you. So there was a relation I caught in school. And one of those days, meditating on scriptures, I can't remember from lectures. And I had never heard this from anybody. It just played out in my mind. And the voice, God just told me, he said, look, if you have $1 billion goal to achieve, he said, look for someone that has $1,000 goal and help that person to achieve that goal. And people will galvanize themselves to help you achieve your $1 billion goal. I was like, wow, okay. So what that meant is that the $1,000 goal, $1,000, I'm above it. For me to, of course, you can't give out what you don't have. So for you to help someone to achieve a goal of 1,000 means I'm above that level. But that 1,000 to that person at that point, that's the person's goal. Do you understand? Yeah. That's the person's goal. So say, help this person achieve this $1,000 goal, and I will help you achieve this one. This is your $1 billion goal. And the day I caught this thing right from the university days. Since then, people know me. I'm known for doing tutorials back then. Oh my God, guy, you never read the exam, they come, take notes. And today, so me helping people, I'm helping myself. My wife, at the point my wife was complaining, the day I now told her this revelation, and I said, you look at our life. This road I got now, I was just sitting down and I got a call from a consultant in KPMG. I've never met them. They are a consult for these guys, and they're looking for a role of someone who has expertise in this. And they've seen that my profile has it. Am I interested? The role was never advertised. And I'm like, oh, sure, why not? Let's give it a try. It's time for me to pick up a new challenge. And I sent in my CV, and within 2 months, the offer came out. So people So so you can see the impact of all of this, right? So
True.
me helping people has actually been very rewarding for me because it has also propelled other people to help me. I can tell
True.
you confidently to the glory of God that I've never been I've never been frustrated, or I've never been helpless in life. There's never been a point in time where I'm blank, I don't know what to do, or I need help and there's nobody to give me help. There's never been a
Mm.
time like that in my life.
Wow.
Even to the most little of anything you can think of, I've never.
Mm.
And it's from this act of me giving.
Mm.
When you sow, you reap. When you sow, you reap. That's it.
Just like when the Bible says, "Give and it shall be given unto you." So if you're not
Period.
giving, you won't be
Period.
expecting people, and that's very key because
That's
they
the
say
essence of
givers
humanity, really. Yeah.
givers never lack, and yeah, I totally agree. Um, what would you say are the common mistakes you see young professionals making, and how can they avoid it? Maybe now they're trying to, grow their portfolio as well. They're trying
Yeah.
to, yeah, make a name for themselves. What do you think they are not doing that they should start doing?
So I interact with people a lot. I mean, a lot of people that across different countries, different, landscape. I mean, based on by the virtue of the things I do, sometimes just a
Mm-hmm.
recommendation. Please, this person needs some mentorship. Can you? I made the call. So when I get those calls, okay, just get the person a chat. But tell you, okay, chat me on the weekend. Just block me on the end of the weekend, and can I just have a brief chat? And from interaction with people, and what I've observed from people, my colleagues where I've worked, or the places I've worked, is that there's generally a lack of commitment to continuous learning, self-development, and awareness of the ever-changing labor market and career dynamics. We are in a fast-paced world. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of things are changing. A lot of things are
Yeah.
changing. Now, yesterday I called my friend. Yesterday I called one of my friends. He works in the NGO space. I mean, you've been following all the news. I mean, Trump suspending, funds, US aid, and all of that. That has affected a lot of NGOs. I called him and like, guy, what's up? I'm just looking at this news now. How far? We need to start coming up with a plan for you to transition from this space. It means this space is becoming an endangered, space. And you're like, bro, thank you, man. That to be honest, that as he's speaking to me, a lot of people have been laid off. That even though for the fact that his role is countrywide, that he's very sure that he would have been affected, that his salary has been, I mean, some allowances have, as he's speaking to me, some of his allowances have been cut short, have been
Mm-hmm.
like cut off. This
Yeah.
is not my space, but because I'm aware of what is happening
Mm-hmm.
and I have him as a friend, I pick up my phone, I call and say, guy, we need to come up with a strategy. He's a data and privacy expert. I said, bro, we need to sit down, we need to review your CV, we need to. So that's it. A lot of people are not aware of this. So they're just there, you're just doing your job, you have your BSc, 5 years later, it's still BSc. There's no certification. There are even a lot of free courses these days online. You don't even need to pay. What you need is internet and the phone. Now we all have internet, we all have phones. But what we do is WhatsApp and what's it called? Instagram, like Reel, and all those things, really. So people do that mistake a lot. And another thing, again, fear of the unknown, inability, the comfort zone syndrome. Hey, I'm okay here. I'm okay here. My brother, my sister, that comfort zone you're staying, you need to leave. I am where I am today because I'm always leaving my comfort zone. I'm always leaving my comfort zone. Anywhere I get to, I drop value. The moment I start feeling like a boss in that place, I know it's time to leave. My wife was like, guy, you don't like peace in your life. Look at when you picked up this other role, you were like, you wanted to run mad. Now you have figured it out. You're an expert. People are hating you now. You want to leave.
True.
So that is me. Maybe it will change later on, but I don't know. But for now, I will come to a place. What are the problems? I will drop impact, drop it. Everything is on autopilot. I train people. I don't hold knowledge. I train people. Once I'm done, I feel it's time to, okay, what's the next challenge? Right. So that is that. So to correct all of these things, you need to, keep networking. You need to keep developing yourself, in order not to fall prey, into these things I mentioned.
Okay. Well said. That also automatically answers my next question. But a question that I think is also very important is because there are people who suffer or who are struggling with self-doubt. an uncertainty about their career path, what would you advise such people? Of course, I know mentorship is also very important, but there are people who
Yeah.
don't even have people around them, just like you in the beginning. There was no specific person, but there were people coming to you in your life part time to help you, to guide you. But there are people that will say, but I don't really have anybody, and there's nobody around, and I feel demotivated. How do you, what advice would you give to such people on how to like break through from that, that box of I cannot, or I don't think I'm equipped enough to even start?
Yeah. So on that, I would just like to tell whoever that person is that look, you are not alone. You are not alone. It happens, right? It has happened to me. I mean, so most of the time when I take up those new roles, I'm like, are you sure I can do this? We will send me, what kind of wahala is this? I sat down, I carry myself, I enter this place now. How will I figure things out? It happens. It has happened to me, and it happens to a lot of people. So what happens when that happens? What should you do? What should be your action point? You should take a step back and
Mm.
sit down. Most people don't know how to have conversations with themselves, really.
Self-respect.
But you need to, yes. I do that a lot. I sometimes
Mm.
just quiet my whole I was. I say, no, nothing. I'm just in deep thought. I'm just thinking. I can think 10 years ahead. I can pick up a
Mm.
particular thing and I will think through it in layers, 5 years, 10 years.
Mm.
I do that. So when it's time for me to implement, probably I've even thought about that thing already before. So
Yeah.
sit back and then do a self-evaluation. Carry a pen and write out, okay, what are the things I like? I don't
Mm.
want to use the word strength because it might be,
Mm.
ambiguous. What are the things I like? List them. Okay. What are the things I don't like doing? Okay. What are the things I like doing or I enjoy doing? List them. These things are different from what you're doing to earn a living. No. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, your idea you might be doing something to earn a living that might not be something you like. But list out,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what do I like? What do I like? Okay, what don't I like that I'm doing? So once you've done this, things will begin to add up to you. I was speaking to and then after you've done this, you may need to talk to someone. If you cannot
Mm-hmm.
figure it out all by yourself, this is where you need to talk to someone, right? One of the people that I supported her through an MBA program. She graduated recently, and she came to visit me all the way. She came from Abuja. She came to see my family for the first time because we met online. I've been
Mm.
giving her support, giving her guide on how to. So when she finished the program, she was like, "Look, she has to come and see me." Like I was an active, I played an active role in her complete MBA. And while we're coming, we're talking, and she now told me that I was asking, okay, so what's the next step? She now said, well, she's an ex-service person. She resigned from, I think, the Nigerian Navy, one of the armed forces or so, because of marital commitment. She had to resign and that. I said, so what do you do? And I said, nothing. She's just there. As that the husband, he's not, her husband is big, but those kind of people that they don't want to use connection to get people jobs. So like, I
Mm.
just keep applying so that I didn't
Mm.
just say you are an ex-service person. I said, do you know that you can become a security consultant? So like,
Mm.
I said, yes, no.
Mm.
You've worked in the military, you've resigned, you've done your MBA now. You can just set up a brief company and you can
Mm.
start doing consultancy. You can start with your WhatsApp, posting security tips, posting some things. I can help you to get security gadgets here and there. You can get collaboration with some of these security people that do security does. Tell your husband, send some beats, go to your husband's office, organize even free webinar, talk to people
Mm.
about security. She was like, she has never thought of this. So from that conversation, she now had a full blown. She now did she has been wasting. I said, you don't even need anything. You have your phone, you have your WhatsApp. Just set up your camera. Just type. Chat me for free 10 minutes consultation on security.
Mm.
People will start. It will be free, but before you know, you can monetize it.
Yes, yes.
So you need to. But before then, she had never thought about that. About that. How was I
Mm.
able to even give her that kind of, because I know so much, and by the virtue of what I do, I know so much about diverse careers. You can tell me something, and I'll just give. And I'm naturally a strategist, so you can just tell me something. Look, this thing you're saying, this is what you can make of this, and you're like, I never knew, right? So you need to have those people, someone you can talk to, network,
Mhm.
But without that, the Holy Spirit is always there to guide
Yeah.
people on most of these things.
What's your definition of success, both personally and also professionally? What's true success for you?
So professionally speaking, for me, success is growth, impact, fulfillment. Professionally speaking, growth, impact, fulfillment. Anywhere I join, any company I join, all the companies, all the places I've worked in my life, by the grace of God, if you go back there and ask, something, there was a boy, there was a guy that he passed here, he worked here, he worked like that is success for me professionally. And then personally, how many people can say, thank God for this brother's life, even though for this guy, man, thank God for using this guy to help me. That's how I made success. And I get this, I've been getting this, and those are the things that have been propelling me, to do more as an individual.
Awesome. Yeah, I think in the world today, people have defined success based on, a particular milestone of achievement and stuff like that, because I think also success is subjective. It's not a general point of view of what it should look like. So that's awesome. If you had one piece of advice to give to young people today who aspire to make a difference, whether in business, in mentorship, and otherwise, what would that advice be?
All right, that's a very interesting question, Glory. And to me, what I always tell people, and I will say it on this call, is that start small, start now, start small, start now, stay diligent and consistent. Start small, start now, stay diligent and consistent. Don't wait for a perfect or a better time. And don't wait for that better time. And remember, that better time is you that's defining it better. Is your definition of better time. It's not God's definition of better time. That better time, you might be in your better time and you'll be thinking, I'm waiting for that better time might never come. So take the first step. You're permitted to make mistakes. Of course, you're permitted to make mistakes, but if you can avoid the mistakes, why not? That's why you have mentorship. You have people who have traded, certain paths. That's why God said, the ancient way, follow it. That is where to lead you to life. Those precedents are there for you to follow, really. But if you make mistakes, fine. Learn from those mistakes, iterate and continue. And permit me to digress a little bit on this. Learn from your mistakes. To speak about something I observe a lot among my friend, because I had a lot of friends, both male and female, that are not married and are trusting God for marriages. They are marriageable age, they are qualitative people. But when you talk to them, they're like, man, I tried the relationship, man, it didn't work. I'm tired. And I'm like, look, keep trying. This relationship did not work. Put your heart together, go into another one. So marriage is one area that people think. So we prepare for everything. You plan for your university. You spend 6 years in primary school to get to secondary school. You spend 6 years in secondary school to get to university. You spend 4 years, all of this to start a career. But marriage, they tell you, when it's time, you just know it's a lie.
Yeah.
There's nothing like when it's time. You need to be deliberate about it. So right from time, some of these things, I don't even know how I knew them. It's the Holy Spirit, because I knew them right from time. Right from when I was young, I was conscious of marriage. So I was very deliberate in building relationship. I can see a lady, this lady looks good, okay? Well, let me have her as a friend. I wasn't dating. I was just have friends. So today I have a lot of female friends. Even after I got married, I have a lot of female. I wasn't involved in funny thing, no. But just have them as it's from those friends that you will speak spouse. People don't think where you need to pray, then God will not say, hey, my son, there's nothing like that. People will say, some preacher will say, I prayed and I heard unequivocally, this is your wife. There's nothing like that. The last time God did that was in the scriptures, and when he told Adam, this is your wife, and all of us saw what happened. When something went wrong, Adam said, God, it is a wife he gave me. And that's why scriptures now said, he that finds a wife. So you now be the one to find. What is the what precedes finding? It's not searching. So you just sit down for 20 years and say, when I'm ready to marry, the wife is just there waiting for you. You just go and harvest her, or the husband is there. They play. I had this mindset. My wife had the mindset in her own word. we connected. But it was very, very seamless. So if your relationship fails, continue, do another one. And that's what we always tell people. And that's why, scriptures will tell you, stay away from fornication, appearance of evil. Some of the relationship that you say breaker is because you have been involved, you tie your soul. Things you're not supposed to be in the relationship, you're having sex and all of those things. You'll be tied now. So when the person does anything, you to be paining, you want to break because a part of you is with that person. That's what sex does. So that's why scripture says stay away from sex before marriage. It's not so all these things that scriptures say, you will think it's because God. No, it's to help us. See, if you date somebody, I'm telling you this thing, if you date somebody, you are not involved in any sexual activity. You're just normal dating, normal. See, if anything happens and anything goes wrong, it will not pay you as much as someone you've given your soul, you've exchanged spirit, you've exchanged everything. Let's be very honest. Me, I used to talk all these things in settings like this, but in the church, sometimes when they say, no, you're giving the room for. No, this is the reality. If it fails, try again. It's 100% spiritual, it's 100% physical. As you're praying, you're also physically searching. Go out on date. I have a friend, you see Instagram, go on Instagram. Anyone you see, send request. Go out on date. You see a colleague, start initiate conversation. That's how you build friendship and you know people.
I agree. It's important because sometimes, especially in the Christendom, we feel like, okay, you want to stay hidden. You want to stay in your house and you expect a miracle to happen all of a sudden.
It doesn't work that way. He that finds the wife finds the good thing. You need to search to find. With
everything you've said, it feels like you don't have any leisure time. So
I knew you were going to say this.
Outside work and outside, spiritual activities and everything. What brings you joy? What keeps you grounded? What do you do for fun?
So, you're right. I really have. Well, I like to socialize. It's funny. I socialize a lot. People are not like I socialize a lot. Like I go out, when situations warrant, though, not like a perpetual going out person. Like all those sitting out with boys, just once in a very blue. But one of the things I do, I have a very loving family. I spend time with my family. So as I'm coming back from work, I'm coming home. So whatever we do, I spend time with family, so that helps me to unwind. I play with my wife, my kids, so that has really, really been helping me. But before then, you might say I was very boring, like because all those games, I wasn't exposed to all those things. PS, I say, PS5, PS. Oh, no, all those PS. I don't play all that. I try to, even football. It's just, I'll just watch, once in a while, like once one. I'm not like an ardent football, lover that I say I must do DSC subscription for. I just look at it like, no, I support Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool fan. I look at it like, okay, what's happening? Okay, what's the new? Okay, I'm good. We are good. We're on top of the league table and everything. But I spend time. I love music. I listen to music a lot. I listen to music. You can see me too far. I'm always on my airport. I listen to music a lot. Worship, because that's another area I draw strength from. And then I love attending conferences, like events, networking events, both professionally and spiritually, where I get to listen to the word of God, to undiluted teachings. My pastor, Coach Yemade, he does that a lot. So I'm always.
Now my final question is, what about your friendship? Like, how do you now, foster your bond between your friends?
Yeah. I do
contacts.
Online.
So
I do a lot of calling. I call a lot. Yeah, that's what I do. So I keep in touch virtually on calls. Like I can just pick up my phone and call, guy, how you did? Just keeping in touch, just saying hello to you. So I have weekends that they keep for calling. I'll just pick on weekend, I'll call everybody. So once in a while, you see that this guy has called me, I call. That's how I keep in touch. So you see that we are very close. You can see that me and you, we are close. But we are not very close, but we are close. You try to wonder, how did we even get to the boy? Anytime I call you, we can really have deep conversations. And that might be like the next quarter before I'll call you. But anytime I call, it's deep. And, because I'm on social media, I'm social media savvy. So I'm always on social media. I have my WhatsApp status. I engage with my people. I have a lot of followers on LinkedIn, on my social media pages. So I mean, I engage a lot on social media. All of this is still about multitasking because I still don't know how. Somebody you see the way I'm online, you say, this guy, do you do anything serious? Like you're always on. Like, how do you do it? Is everything in
everything same time?
exactly.
Multitask. That's a very important skill to have. Wow. That brings me to the end of my interview.
Man, this was interesting.
I just want to say thank you very much for, cutting out this chunk of time. And this more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Thank you for using this, your weekend. This is also a form of mentorship as well.
Yeah, really.
Thank you so much.
I have to jump on this call.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I really it. And I hope we'll be able to also talk again in the coming future, in the coming days or weeks or months, I don't know. And definitely I don't know who I was telling. I think I was also telling Andrew at some point. I was like, it's good to have people in different facets of life because you don't know when you will need the help and the advice and the the knowledge from this person who is a financial advisor or from this person who is into tech and IT and AI and everything. So it's good to finally meet you and to pick from your well of knowledge. I'm so grateful for the time. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you. So hopefully would have you again on our Telegram platform if there are questions or people want to find out more about you and what you do, and if they have questions, then we'll definitely invite you again to our platform.
No problem. You could share my YouTube, my LinkedIn URL with them.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I churn out a lot of information on my LinkedIn and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is exclusive on my contact, but I mean LinkedIn is okay for now for them. Yeah, so I mean, we share my LinkedIn URL with them. A lot of people that get to follow. I mean, they'll be very, they'll be glued into a lot of content that will impact their lives positively. Yeah,
I'll definitely do that. Thank you very much for the time, and I'm wishing you a lovely weekend with you, your family, and your.